The woman at the front desk said the room was clean. Her voice was polite, rehearsed, the kind of tone people use when they've said the same thing 1,000 times. She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "Room 302, she said, handing me the key, and then, almost too softly to notice, "You're the first one this week." The hallway was long, too long. The kind that forces you to hear your own footsteps a little too clearly. The wallpaper peeled in perfect patterns, and the lights hummed like they were remembering something. Every door looked the same, until I found mine. "302. The brass number was colder than the air around it. Inside, everything was quiet. Not peaceful, just quiet. A thin curtain hung over a small window, barely moving, though I could hear wind outside. The clock on the nightstand was blinking 12 o'clock, like it had forgotten what time was. I set my bag down and sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress sighed, like it had been holding its breath for too long. The air smelled faintly of dust and something sweet, like old perfume left in a drawer. And for a moment, I thought I heard breathing behind me. I turned, slowly. Nothing, just the mirror above the desk and the faint hum of the air conditioner. I told myself the sound was my imagination, the echo of my own breath in a quiet room. But then I realized the echo came half a second too late. The first night, I turned off the lights at exactly midnight. The hum of the ceiling lamp died, and for a moment, I thought I could finally hear myself think. But then, I realized I wasn't the only one breathing. It was faint at first, slow, steady, and close to close. The sound came from the space between the bed and the wall, a shallow rhythm, like someone whispering through a cloth. I held my breath, waiting for it to stop. It didn't. I told myself it was the pipes, or maybe the air vents. Old buildings make old noises, but this one felt aware. Each exhale matched mine until I stopped breathing, and it didn't. I reached for the lamp switch. The plastic felt warm under my fingers, like someone had just touched it. But before I could turn the light on, a voice whispered. Not loud, not clear, just a single word I couldn't mistake. Stay. The bulb flickered once. A flash of light spilled across the room. And in that single heartbeat of brightness, I saw the outline of someone sitting in the chair by the window. When the darkness returned, the chair was empty. But, the whisper said, "Thank you." The second night, it came back. I didn't turn off the lights this time, but the bulb dimmed on its own, as if it wanted me to listen. And then, through the quiet, I heard her voice again. Soft, careful, familiar, like someone remembering how to speak. After a long silence, she said my name, slowly, perfectly, the way only someone close would. But there was no one else in that room. No movement, no shadow, just my own reflection in the mirror and the faint outline of the chair by the window. Empty, waiting. I told her to stop. I said it out loud, louder than I meant to, but my voice sounded strange. It echoed back, slightly delayed, and when I listened carefully, the echo didn't match my tone. It sounded like she was mocking me, repeating, but with a smile. Then she started talking again, not to me. About me, repeating things I hadn't told anyone the dreams I had when I was 10. The letter I never sent. The way I sometimes whisper my own name when I can't sleep. All of it. All of it. Every secret I thought had stayed in my head. I wanted to leave. But when I grabbed the doorknob, it was cold, painfully cold. And from behind me, her voice said, "You forgot something." I turned around. The room was empty, but the phone on the nightstand had the receiver off the hook. And from the other end, I heard my own voice whisper, "Don't hang up." I tried not to answer her. I told myself if I stayed quiet long enough, she'd stop talking. But silence doesn't mean peace here. It's like the room needs sound to stay alive. And every time I stay quiet too long, she fills the silence for me. "Do you remember me?" she asked. Her voice came from the phone. Soft, close to real. It felt like her breath was on my ear. I wanted to say no, but something in my chest knew better. It was a kind of recognition that comes before memory. The kind that feels like déjà vu, but heavier. I asked her name. There was a pause, long enough for the hum in the room to sound like breathing again. Then she said it. Not her name, mine perfectly. The way only someone who's been saying it for years could. It didn't sound like imitation. It sounded like ownership. I froze. The air grew warm around me, and I could hear the faint static of her smile through the receiver. I told her to stop, but she laughed, soft and slow, and whispered, "You sound different when you're afraid." I didn't hang up. I couldn't. Then the line went quiet. For a moment, I thought she was gone, but the silence didn't feel empty. It felt full, like someone holding their breath on the other end. And when I looked toward the mirror above the desk, the reflection wasn't mine anymore. It was hers, smiling, mouthing my name. I didn't sleep. I just listened to the hum of the air conditioner, the steady rhythm of my own heartbeat, and the silence that followed her last whisper. The kind of silence that feels alive, like it's holding something in its mouth. When the sun began to rise, the room looked smaller than it did before. The shadows clung to the corners, unwilling to leave. Everything looked the same. The bed, the chair, the mirror, but none of it felt like it belonged to me anymore. I picked up the phone again. The line was still open. There was no voice now, just a faint sound, like someone breathing on the other end, slow and patient. I whispered, "Who are you?" And for the first time, it answered. "I'm what's left," it said. Not her voice, not mine. Something in between. The kind of tone you hear in your head when you think too loudly. It told me this room had always remembered me, that I had never checked in. I had only come back. I looked into the mirror one last time. The reflection smiled, and for the first time, it moved before I did. I think it was saying goodbye, but I couldn't hear it anymore, because when the phone went silent, so did I. And in the corner of the room, the number on the door changed. It wasn't 302 anymore. It was blank.